Hello everyone, today we're very excited to have Jerry Huang, the former No.2 tennis player in Canada. Welcome to the show, Jerry.
Thanks for having me, Jackie.
Yes, we also call you Jerry as well too.
Yeah, double name.
Yeah, so I think you know I really love to play tennis.
Yes.
Actually, kind of obsessed for a certain time. First question I really have to ask you is, you like Nadal or you like Federer?
Nadal.
Oh, we should not sit. We should not sit together anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
It's good to have one of each.
Yeah, so you know who I like, right?
Why you like him?
Yeah, well, you know who I like, right?
I think so.
Yeah, who is that?
From your technique, I think better.
Yeah.
It looks the same.
Yeah, I watch a lot of like how he play online. Actually, like the backhand and all that stuff. Though he doesn't have the best backhand, actually.
Good enough, I think.
Yeah, well, I guess, but anyway, yeah, it's kind of funny. But let's just talk about more about your tennis career, somewhat. Can you talk about the progression of your ranking until you're 18 years old?
Okay, so I guess the lowest age category is under 10. I don't remember what my ranking was. I started when I was 8, so we can disregard that.
Yeah.
Under 12, my second year under 12. So when you're the older age in your age category, I was number 1, and then
number 1 in BC.
Yeah, in Canada, I have no idea. Probably like you can't even see me on the first page.
Okay.
And then U14. So from under 12 onwards, I was number 1 in BC.
Okay.
Under 14, I was top 4 or 5 in Canada. Under 16, I was top 3 in Canada, and then under 18. I was number 2 was my ranking, and my best result was winning nationals.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like at that point when you were 18, did you have the ATP ranking as well?
I did. So when I was 16, I got my first ATP point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was that when you were 18? What was the ATP ranking about?
Well, 18, I went to school. I went to college, so I wasn't playing professional tournaments.
Okay, but you do have point in there.
Yeah, so it resets every year. So once I went to school, I'm sure after a year I didn't play.
Okay.
It went back to 0.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's kind of terrible.
That's how
that's
how the ranking works. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very harsh. Yeah. Yeah, I think they were keep complaining about it actually in one point. But anyway, that's a different topic. Well, for people who don't really know about tennis, can you explain a little bit about the ATP ranking system? Okay. So in what level you can join the Grand Slam? So first of all, I think Grand Slam is like the 4 big competition, right? So Australian Open, French Open, Wimbledon, and then US Open. So that's the big 4 Grand Slam. So in what ranking you can join the Grand Slam? And then can you explain a little bit first, like how does the ATP ranking work?
So there's 3 levels of progression of tournaments. The lowest level is future level, and then it's challenger level, and then ATP level. Okay. So it's based off points and your ranking. So for a Grand Slam, if you're in the top, depends on which one, in the top I would say around 150 to 200, then you can play in the qualifyings of the Grand Slam. And then challenger level, if you're, depending on the level of the challenger as well, but if you have a decent ranking, maybe like even 800, you could most likely play some challengers. And then future level, you can play without points. You can play qualifying, but to get into main draw, you most likely need a couple points.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need some point to get it.
Yeah.
So by the time you were 18 or like after university, basically, let's say after university, where were you? In which level were you?
So the highest level tournament I played was the challenger level. So that's the middle ground between futures and ATP. Okay. So I got a wild card because my ranking wasn't high enough to play directly.
Oh wow.
I could have probably played weaker ones, but they have one in Vancouver. Okay. And that one is the highest level of the challenger. Okay. So players like Nishikori signed up for it. a lot of top 100 players. So that one was really, really strong, but Tennis Canada gave me a wild card.
Oh.
So that was the highest level pro tournament that I played.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, there's some big player play there too,
Yeah.
actually. But how much different would you say in the ranking between like the top 400 and top 50? How much?
450, there's quite a bit, I would say.
Okay.
If you go to 250, there's not much.
Really?
And 400 to 200, also not much. So it's kind of weird because 400 to 200, not much, 200 to 50, not much. But 400 to 50, I think there's still quite a bit. There's a big gap.
Okay.
And not so much in how you hit forehands and backhands, but more so in your consistency and I would say mental abilities.
Yeah. So do you think like when you were playing, your mental game is like kind of your strong suit as well?
I think I had certain parts of my mental game that were definitely my strong suit.
Yeah.
But there were certain parts that were also my weakness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how about from 50 to number 1? Do you think there is a possibility the top 50 can beat world number 1 at time?
Yes. Any given day, I think that's the beauty of sports.
Yeah.
In general, is that anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah.
So you see it all the time. Was it Federer? I think Federer in one of his best years, he lost maybe a couple matches and they were to people outside the top 80, outside the top 100. So that just shows that anyone could beat anyone, but it's really more the day in, day out if you're able to perform through maybe your bad seasons. I think that's what separates them.
Yeah, like the consistency basically.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you put a quantifying number between like the top 200 and top 50, how much do you think percentage point is difference? If like just a while.
If we're comparing to
Yeah.
the whole tennis.
No, between the top 200 and the top 50, you know, how much different?
Right.
Like, you know, if you put a quantifying number, how
In
much?
terms of tennis skills?
Yeah.
Tennis skills, maybe 1 or 2%.
Really?
Yeah, not much.
Wow.
Mental strength, maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
But if you look at players in the between 100 and 200, all of them can play just as well as a top 50 player.
Wow.
And then a top 50 player has the ability to be number 1. So it's really, the gap is not that big. I think Federer mentioned the stat. It's that he's debatably the greatest player of all time, but he won in his career 53 or 54% of points.
Yeah.
So that just shows you how small the margin actually is. Sometimes you even have a whole match where you win less points, but you win the match because you win more of the important points.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
it's a very interesting, I guess, point system.
But then when you were playing, this question always in my head too, you know, when you were like, you know, you have a tie break, you know, in the second set.
Yeah.
How do you calm yourself, really?
I think it comes through two things. It comes through practice, repetition. So being in that situation, I guess you could call it experience.
Yeah.
Being in that situation many times. And then second would be your confidence, which that can come from all sorts of sources, but a big part of it being most likely in practice.
Yeah.
Knowing that, okay, I've done this a million times. Just because the stage is different doesn't mean I have to perform differently.
Oh. But do you feel like you have a dialogue to yourself whenever like situation? Like
100%. Yeah.
So what would you say to yourself?
I think the mindset that I adopted through trial and error and that has served me well throughout my career is to be more bold and brave in nervous situations as opposed to being more passive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to have an offensive game, basically.
Yeah. Fortune favors the bold.
Okay.
That's a saying my coach always says, and it doesn't mean that you're reckless.
Yeah.
But it means that you're not scared to be in situations like that.
Would you go up to the net, you know, even in a situation like that, or like?
I mean, so for example, so a lot of people think playing at the net is risky.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on your game. For me, serve and volleying might even feel more comfortable than staying back. So.
Oh wow! Yeah. So you would do that like at time?
I would do that a lot, especially if. I guess my game is it's offense, I guess a very aggressive game style.
Yeah.
So in tighter situations when most people, especially if you're playing like a grinder, they would just try to be the consistent one, not to miss. That's when, you know, they're typically not going for small targets. They just play with more margin. So if you have a good serve and volley, you put them in a lot of pressure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that about you actually. Okay, now let's go back to the. Oh, that's one more thing too. So, who were the players that you were playing with? Like, where are they now? Actually.
Like the best players I was playing with. So I guess players that people would know, obviously Felix, Auger-Aliassime. We trained together when I was in Montreal, and then played Junior Davis Cup together. And then in college, even in juniors, I played a bunch of players that are, top 50, top 30 now.
Oh, can you give an example?
Lorenzo Musetti.
Yeah.
Sebastian Baez.
Yeah.
Who else? Jack Draper.
Okay. Now he's a big player nowadays.
Yep.
Yeah, he's really up there.
I'm probably blanking on some, but in college I played a couple, so I think Ben Shelton would be the most.
Oh, yeah.
The most well-known one, probably.
Yeah, well, because like now it's like this new generation is rising, right? After Nadal and like Federer just retired, so like this new generation is flying, like, kind of coming.
Exactly. Yeah.
But anyway, so how did you start tennis actually?
I started tennis in Taiwan.
Okay.
I think it was a summer camp, and one of my friends' older brother was already playing tennis, and they had a camp in my hometown, and my friend and I were just trying to do something in the summer.
Yeah.
It was between going to Lego class or playing tennis.
Okay.
And I guess I didn't really have a preference, so I asked my dad. And he's like, yeah, go outdoors, play some sports. I'm like, okay, sure. So that's how I started, but then we moved to Canada. I didn't play for a year. And then my mom saw one of my sister's classmates coming out of school with a tennis bag.
Yeah.
So she asked her where she played, and then I started going to that club.
Oh, okay. So you started to join the club and all that.
Yeah.
But before you start taking tennis seriously, how do you see it? How do you see tennis? Exercise. Not even like a social kind of.
No, I mean, I'm introverted at heart. Like internally, I am introverted, and I guess when I was young, I didn't really have a strong preference to do certain things.
Okay.
And it was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll play some tennis. It's kind of fun, but I wasn't serious at all, and I wasn't trying to achieve anything for sure.
Really? And you also didn't see you're particularly good as well.
No, I mean, I definitely wasn't good at the start, but also I think for most players, starting at 8, and I was barely playing at 8. It was like once or twice a week.
Yeah.
So more like 9 when I started playing a little bit more. That's considered pretty late in tennis.
Oh, really?
If I remember, all the other kids around me, they most likely started around like 4 or 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How are you?
Which I don't know how you pick up a racket, but
how do you hold
I know
a racket?
some kids start at 2, so I guess 4 or 5 is reasonable.
Well, but okay, that's also a difference too, right? Because like, I think at your time when you were starting tennis, that's not the kiddie tennis, right? Like different size of ball, like different speed of ball, right? For you, it would be full size, everything.
I never played with the sponge, but I played with the less pressured balls.
Okay.
So I think they called that kids play or something. Or red dot. I don't remember. But there is a different type. When you start, there's a different type.
Also still like have a little bit different type.
Yeah.
But then, so you would use kid size like racket?
That's for under 10. After you get through under 10, it was regular balls.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you would just like pretty much...
I barely had the kids play. Yeah.
But like, until which time you can start to rally, kind of?
Rally?
Normally.
I would say pretty early on.
Really?
Yeah.
Usually it takes people years though, so...
If I remember, I don't think it was... It's not like we're hitting that great, but...
but you can go back
run around the court and
back and
toss it back.
So you didn't think that is anything special?
Not at all, no.
Not at all, really? Okay. So when did you start to take tennis seriously and why?
I wouldn't say it was me who started taking tennis seriously. It was probably more so my coach. There was a new Tennis Canada coach that got hired by the federation. So the 2 biggest hubs were in Montreal and Toronto. And the West Coast didn't really have a big Tennis Canada kind of program. So they hired a coach from Israel to come here and run the program for the West Coast.
Yeah.
And so he went around each club. I remember, I think every number 1 and number 2 ranked player in each age category automatically got selected. But then he wanted to select players that he thought had potential.
Okay.
So he started going around to each club, once or twice a week for a couple months. And that's how I met him, and he saw something in me before I even thought there was something in tennis. So I would say I took tennis a lot more seriously once he, in a way, recruited me into Tennis Canada.
Can you tell me though, when he first come to your club and kind of like recruiting different player, how was he? Like, he was watching people practice and all that. It's like, how was that experience?
He was the scariest coach ever. So I remember at my club, the normal day is you walk in, there's a little section right beside the court where you can put your bag, you can sit down, have some water. The typical day is you walk in, everyone with their tennis bag, and you chuck it, and then you go. And then all of a sudden we come in that day, and then the coach is saying, okay, we have to line it up perfectly. And I'm there thinking, why are we acting differently? Like, is someone so special coming today? And I guess we were, because everyone lined it up. And I remember my first time seeing him was he was having a meeting outside the bubble. So you could see it through a window, but you can't hear each other. And I was actually asking I think there was the assistant coach. I was like, who is it? Who's here? He was a very important Tennis Canada coach.
Okay.
And then I didn't say, can I go over there? I just ran over there, looked out the window, and I started waving at him. So that was the first time I guess we had an interaction. And I just remember he gave me a kind of funny smirk, and he's like, and then 10 minutes later he was inside screaming at everyone.
So he was screaming at people as they were.
Oh, there were kids that were crying. There were kids that got kicked out.
Really?
Yeah.
So he just like, you're not good enough, just go. Like,
I think looking back now, I understand that was in a way part of his test, I guess, to see who can handle that sort of pressure, that sort of tension. Yeah.
But what were you thinking though when he was shouting at everyone, like,
I think at the start, I don't think I was scared of him. I was probably a little confused because all the other coaches were so friendly and nice. So I was probably a little bit confused. And I think I was a little bit more focused maybe than I normally was. I was like, okay, this guy means business, and I'm seeing these kids getting kicked out. I don't really want to get kicked out, so maybe I should be on my best behavior. But no, I mean, you just try your best. There's not much else you can do, and I don't believe in being someone you're not. So I personally didn't like how the club. Just because an important coach is there, you have to line up differently. If you want to do that, then make that a consistent thing every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you just feel like, okay, wow, you don't want to get yelled.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like getting yelled at. and also, if a coach is so important, I do want to, perform.
Oh, you do want to perform as well. Okay, so that is an important part as well.
Yeah.
So when you were 12 years old, like what you're saying, so like throughout that time, you were number one in BC. It was a defining year for you. What did happen on that year?
It was it's actually very clear in my head actually still today. It was a 3-month winter camp that we had. And that was with the new coach.
Yeah.
So after a couple months of going around, he did a winter camp with people that were in the program.
Yeah.
But he selected, it wasn't many players, but some other players from the club to join the camp. I think that was part of him, maybe like a next stage of trying to see who might be a good fit. So we had a very intense and extensive 3-month, was it 3 month or a month? Anyways, a month or 3-month camp. And I think that stretch, that period of training was what really propelled me. So that camp happened in the winter of my first year being under 12. So I would be 10 or 11 years old. And then after that camp, the following year, so I was 11 or 12. That's my last year playing under 12. I didn't lose a match in BC under 12. So it was a big shift because before that, I wasn't that special, I guess, of a player.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you become like BC number one essentially after that.
Yeah.
In that age category.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what happened after that? They see your performance, they see, you perform well, and then what did happen to you?
Then I got selected and I became an actual member of the program. So it wasn't so much you're a guest that you're coming here once or twice a week, it became, okay, now I'm full-time 4 or 5 times a week at the program.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So basically that you join a program is the Tennis Federation of Canada, right?
It's Tennis Canada Federation started that program, and it's government funded.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much it costs for the whole package, I guess you could call it, but it was definitely a lot less than if you were to just be part of a club.
Okay.
Because it is government funded. Yeah.
Oh. But what did you learn after you go to join, this program? Basically, you train really hard, obviously. So how many times you have to go for the training?
I think it was 4 times a week, and I would still go once a week to a club just to play with some different players.
Okay.
But it was 4 times a week, maybe even 5 on a weekend, but sometimes you're playing tournaments.
Yeah.
And I believe I was training for most likely around 3 hours at the start, including fitness.
Oh.
And then as you get older, you start to ramp up the volume.
Yeah.
So maybe by 13, it was more like 1:30 to 6, so 4.5 hours.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. So like pretty much half of the day is just doing
So I started skipping a lot of school. I didn't really have an afternoon schedule. So I was just
No.
lunchtime, okay.
Let's go. At JW's Music Studio, we offer more than just music lessons. We also nurture future leaders in music education. Our Piano Teacher Apprenticeship Program is an initiative designed for advanced piano students who are ready to take the next step from student to teacher. This program provides a structured, supportive pathway into music teaching. Participants are mentored through every stage, from interview and training to guided teaching and independent lessons, all while being compensated as they grow. Whether your teen is exploring a career in teaching or simply wants to deepen their connection to music, this program offers real-world skills in a safe, encouraging environment. Contact us today at jnwmusic@yahoo.ca. Wow, okay. Wow, that really meant business.
Yeah.
So where is it? It's in UBC, right? One of the places, UBC in North Vancouver, I would imagine.
So UBC was less frequent. It was for, I guess they had some sort of agreement with North Shore Winter Club in North Vancouver. So that was the main place. But then UBC also gave us courts, I think, once or twice of the week.
Yeah.
So, I remember if it was UBC like once for me, and then the rest were in North Vancouver.
Oh, wow. So it's quite a long drive.
Yeah, no, it was tough for my mom.
Okay. But what did you learn, though, during this period of time? You're only 12 years old,
I think, from what I remember, the coaches saying is that I was very mature for my age. So maybe that was from learning that you have to take it seriously if you want to improve, if you want to do well, and if you want to, achieve something in the sport. So I think probably taking it seriously and wanting to show up every day and do my best, not just screw around. But I think that was always part of, it was through tennis, but part of my, I guess, character is that if I decide to do something, I want to do it to the best of my abilities and fully, and not to do it halfway. Yeah.
But then at that point, you decided, okay, well, this is what I want to do already at this point.
Yeah, I think at the start, it was a combination of what my coach saw in me, but with time, it became what I wanted. I think sometimes you see in movies, not like, I'm in a movie or something, but they always have the plot that there's, I guess, more of a sensei, a mentor that helps propel this main character into something before he even sees something in himself. And I guess everyone's their main character in their story. So for me, that coach was the person who believed in me before I believed in myself.
Okay. But you always have this character, you feel like, doesn't matter what.
I think I was too young before tennis to know. But once I started tennis, I think, I've always, it was ingrained through training with this coach. I think he definitely ingrained a lot of what's the best word? A lot of attitudes in me. So I think I carried that onwards.
Oh wow! So it's like combination. It's like who you are as well. It's like the training as well.
For sure, I think definitely with his help and ingraining that shaped me into what I think is now my character.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how do you face this pressure, though?
Yeah.
Really, I mean, like that's one of the biggest thing, when you play tennis.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you face this pressure when they just keep watching you and the season's coming up, you need to perform?
I mean, I think there were many, many times that I collapsed under the pressure, but I think that's how everyone grows. Is you need to go through very difficult seasons for you to have more of a breakthrough. And with anything in life, nothing is a straight line.
Yeah.
So I think the pressure, it's not like I was born with the ability to deal with pressure.
Yeah.
I think you get put into pressure situations. Maybe you manage one time and then the next time you don't manage.
Yeah.
And then, you're upset about it, you're frustrated about it, but then you take that as motivation to grow from it. And then you learn through experience, through overcoming, to be able to face bigger challenges and more pressure. And then your tolerance kind of starts to grow.
Oh.
Yeah. So as you mature, as you get better and grow older, your tolerance for pressure also increases. And you realize at a certain point where I think you cross a line where you understand that pressure is just part of it.
But when you were 12, no way you understand that, right?
No, I think, but I would still say I probably matured pretty early in this regard, and I would say maybe around 14, I was pretty good with dealing with pressure.
Yeah.
And I think the hardest thing is being number one, which when I was younger, I thought everyone was scared of the number one player.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, once you become number one, then everyone's scared of you. It's so easy. But then once you become number one, you realize that's the person who's carrying the most weight on their shoulder because
you're not want to beat you.
You're not supposed to lose to anyone. So that was really stressful. And then you learn that, if you want to be a good player, you're obviously going to be above ranking wise a lot of other players. So you have to learn to deal with that. I think there was one very defining match that really taught me a lesson. I was playing my, at the time, rival. So we were 1 and 2 in our age category. And I think I was 13 at this time.
Okay.
And then we were playing indoors. It was really cold, tough conditions. And we got to a third set and I just started making excuses in my head. I was like, okay, you know what? It's really cold. I'm not playing well. I feel kind of sick. So if I lose this match because of that, then technically I didn't really lose. No one would know what would happen if I was playing at my best. So that became an excuse I used for that match, and I kind of just gave up. And I finished that match, and I knew what I was thinking. And I remember sending a text to my coach, and then I talked nothing about tennis. I was like, I was feeling sick. It was really cold. The player beside my court had to stop because he got dizzy. So I didn't feel good, so I didn't play good. And then he just replied, okay. And then I just felt kind of guilty because I know I didn't give it my best.
Okay.
So then, that was the weekend. And on Monday, I went in and I told him, hey, can I talk to you?
Yeah.
And I think that was also, he was happy to see that reaction from me because I pulled him aside in a way, a 12-year-old little kid saying he wants to talk, or 13. And I told him exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And then that's when we had a good talk. He told me about pressure, how everyone's going through it.
Yeah.
And then I think that was a defining moment where after that, you stop making excuses and you always just put your best effort. If you lose with your chin up.
Yeah. So you own it to your mistake. I think that is the biggest lesson.
For sure. If you lose, doesn't mean you failed. It's part of the progress, and you don't make excuses for your actions, I guess.
Man, this story just reminds me of Boris Becker and Steven Edberg. But anyway, let's don't get too much.
Thanks for that comparison.
Just remind me of that.
Good two players to be compared to.
Yeah, because like when Steven Edberg, I think he won one of the year in Wimbledon. Like that time, because like it's different kind of technology, right? Yeah. And he was saying, if I have lose this game today, I'm okay because I really know I have given my best. Like, because like that's the biggest rival, right, for him. Right. I think. Yeah, I mean, it is an unbelievable game, back in that time. I mean, different rhythm, of course, right? This is back in the, like, I think early 80s. But that's what he said, and I guess that's kind of what he's talking about, right? But anyway. Now, so Then how did you get involved with the Davis Cup when you were around 14?
Mm-hmm. So when I was 14, so Davis Cup is top 3 players in Canada.
Okay.
You get selected. So I was right at the cusp when I was 14.
Okay.
I was maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And they actually played qualifying. So there's 2 stages. There's qualifying. So North America will have its own qualifying where you play US and other North American countries, and Europe will have their qualifying. Asia will have their qualifying, and then the top 2 of each, I think, continent, they go to the real Davis Cup, which is held. It was held in Czech Republic, I think.
Okay.
So I wasn't part of the team in qualifying, and they actually qualified. Yeah. But then in between qualifying and the real Davis Cup, which was probably a couple months in between.
Okay.
I don't know why, and I don't know what the conversation was being had behind the scenes with Tennis Canada, but this was happening in Montreal, and I was still in BC. But one of the coaches there, who I didn't even really have a real relationship with, he just probably watched some of my matches. For some reason, he vouched for me, and he said that the number 3 that they originally had for Davis Cup qualifying, he felt like I would have been a better fit. So I guess through their, I don't know how many coaches were part of the conversation. Yeah. They decided to, I guess kick that guy out and then invite me to come play Junior Davis Cup in the real Davis Cup. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you went to play the
that was the Davis Cup in Czech Republic.
Yeah.
And so that was, we lost in the finals to Germany.
Okay.
2-1.
Yeah.
So I actually played the deciding doubles. So it was, if you win this, you're the champion. If you lose, you're second place. Yeah. And that was heartbreaking. Yeah. We lost that one to Germany. Obviously, they were unbelievable team, but that was heartbreaking.
Yeah, I think that at that point, that was like they were like one of the best country for junior tennis, I think.
Germany, their top 2 players, all 3 players were probably, if there was an under 14 ranking, 2 of them would have been in the top 5, if not top 3. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a very tough game. Yeah. Then what happened the next year though? In 15, when you were 15, you joined again. You played the Davis Cup.
So there's the Davis Cup. 2 Davis Cup for juniors are similar to regular age categories. So there's one for under 14, one for under 16. Yeah. So 2 years later for the under 16. That one I was part of both the qualifying and the main one. Okay. I guess at that point I was pretty concrete that I was part of the top 3 in Canada. Yeah. So I was part of both the qualifying and then the main one. Yeah. And yeah.
So did you play until the final exactly?
Yeah, so for qualifying, this was also a defining match, I guess, for my career. Was for the qualifying, it was again 1-1, deciding doubles, and our number 1 player, who was of course Felix, he had a flight to catch. We had a delay, and so he had to leave. Yeah, and then so it was me and the other guy stepped in to play the deciding doubles, which obviously Felix would have been one of the guys to play the deciding, and then it was against USA. At that point, we were both qualified for the main thing, Canada USA, but it was for the higher seed. So it still mattered. It mattered a lot. And then I remember I played. I don't remember what happened. I just remember what everyone was saying because I kind of blacked out. I was so nervous. But I played probably one of the best doubles matches up to that point. Yeah. And third set was a super tiebreak. And I think I probably played some really good big points. And, we ended up winning that match. And then it was, from my understanding, that was a big match for them to invite me from the Tennis Canada program in Vancouver into the real federation in Montreal. Yeah. And then, so after that, of course, I went to the official Davis Cup, which this one was in Hungary, in Budapest. And again, we got to the finals and lost to Russia. So it was tough because it was like, finals again, redemption, playing against Russia. And funny enough, we're in a 1-1 situation, deciding doubles. Yeah. I'm in the same situation, and we lost that one again. But that's part of life.
Yeah, but that's how it is, right?
Yeah. So semifinals there, actually, we also got into deciding doubles. So it was a very roller coaster emotion because one day, you just won a deciding doubles match, you feel, great. And then the next day, it's like you're thrown underground. You're just having the toughest loss. But that's part of sports.
Yeah, that's part of playing a sport, basically.
Yeah.
Like what you said, so after that, you go to Montreal to train. You were like 15, maybe?
15, yeah.
Yeah, you were like 15. So you were 15. And I think that was really difficult, right? The lifestyle is very difficult. You pretty much just go to school and train. What do you learn from this experience?
I think the biggest thing was independence.
Okay.
I don't have any sort of relationship over there in Montreal. All my friends, my family were here. My coaches were here. So when I moved there, it was a massive change. Went from living with my parents, spending time with my friends, training with a coach I was very familiar with, to living in a random person's family. It was a host family. Going to school completely online. It was just at the federation.
Oh, wow.
And then, training with new coaches, around new players. So with a completely different schedule. So it was very, very, very different to what I was used to.
But what did you learn, though, through this experience?
Yeah, I think the biggest, like I said, independence. And then also learning how much actually goes into being a professional athlete. So it's kind of funny to say that word, but for a 15-year-old, but that's what they were structuring your day as. Was your day was structured as how a professional player was going about their day. Yeah.
Maybe change the question a little bit. How do you feel when you're going through this? Is it like, okay, well, I kind of experienced that before. I already trained in BC, under the Tennis Canada, right? But now it's just bigger hub, bigger center.
I think, so I was there for 2 years. The first year was very, very challenging. So that year I had a heart problem. And I was out for 6 to 9 months, didn't do anything. And I had to go through all these different tests. And so I couldn't come home, but I was still stuck there. And then before I got the heart problem, training, the volume was more, but the intensity was similar. Training here, the coach was already very tough on you. So I think the biggest thing was probably the schedule being very, very structured and like professional tennis player oriented. So that was the biggest change in understanding, oh wow, okay, so your whole day, every day is really dedicated to tennis.
So make you excited or make you kind of like, okay, well, I'm not very sure.
First year, I would say less excitement, more challenge. Second year, you get used to it and then you start to embrace it. Or for me, I started to embrace it. There was another player who joined with me that after a year they quit because it was too much. So.
But at that point, though, how do you view yourself as a tennis player? Do you feel like, okay, I can go pro? Or you still feel like, okay, well, let's just try my best and see how far I can go?
I think at that point, when you're there, you're surrounded by the mentality. And even when I was already in BC, you're surrounded by the mentality and atmosphere of becoming a really good professional tennis player. So I think that was already part of the frame that was set, is that players here are here to become a professional, not to become, just a casual or an okay player.
And you do feel that way too?
Yeah, I think whether you believe it at the start or not, with time, with results, with growth, with, I don't want to say brainwash, but surrounding atmosphere, then I think you naturally start to ingrain that thought as well.
Okay. But when you put that much time into tennis, how do you view all the training? Do you think it's rewarding for you?
I think there's, again, another in a way hurdle that once you cross over that line, there's not that much thought that goes to it. It's not it's not like, oh, I have to train again today, or oh, I'm tired. It's just this is what you do. So, but before that, it is getting used to. And when you do have results after putting in all the work, you start to correlate it to each other. So you realize, okay, well, obviously things don't just happen. You really have to put in your efforts to achieve anything that's worth achieving. So I think having certain results come your way, it just gives more proof to the work that you do. And then you start to realize the work is just part of it. So
This episode is brought to you by JW Music Studio.
We offer piano and guitar lesson in both group and private setting. Group lesson is a great way to ignite a student's musical interest. It offers engaging activities that will reinforce specific skill sets. Ensemble playing will strengthen their rhythmic feeling and listening abilities. Most of all, they will experience the joy of making music with others. Contact us to find out our available schedule.
Now, but then eventually you went to University of Texas afterward. I think purely for tennis reason.
Yeah.
But what do you think it was a good thing? Why do you think it was a good thing to go to college rather than go pro right away?
Yeah, so a few reasons. Well, number one, my heart problem happened at, I guess, a bit of an inconvenient time because it was getting very close to the time where I would be deciding between college and pro.
Yeah.
And then it put me out for 6 to 9 months. So when I came back, you don't just come back feeling the same. You need to build back up to it. So I think I wasn't in the... Also physically, I was also a late boomer, I guess you could call it. So I wasn't very strong compared to people around me. I hit my growth spurt pretty late. So college to me seemed like the perfect time to mature and let my body grow into, you know, what it would be in my hopefully prime years.
Yeah.
And then also have, in a way, a backup. You never know what injuries come.
Yeah.
So having an education, but also having competitive tennis,
Yeah.
I think it just felt like the perfect kind of fit instead of rushing into playing pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But mentally, though, do you think that was also a benefit, you know, prepare you for like to be a professional tennis player, actually?
I think so. I think college tennis evolved a lot from even a decade or two ago.
Yeah.
So many college players now, they come out of college and they become top players in the world. So that just shows how competitive the level of college tennis versus pro tennis is.
Yeah.
And if you look at, you know, the ranking, there's a huge chunk of players in the top 200 that are ex-college players. So yeah, I think the level of college really just started to skyrocket the past decade or two.
Yeah.
So when you play college matches, you're playing a lot of players that have done well in pro. So the level is not all that different.
Yeah.
Of course, it depends on what division you're in, what school you're in, but playing in Division 1, part of a good school, you play against great players. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're one of the, I think, top tennis, you know, university, basically. Okay, so you experienced injury during college, and what you're saying, you know, you have some heart problem, heart issue as well. How do you face setback? And do you how do you think like work ethic affect the way you face this issue?
So I realized through also in juniors that injuries and setbacks were part of it. So I didn't have anything drastic until my heart problem. But before that, you know, I had shoulder injuries, stuff like that, where I would take 3 weeks or a month off.
Yeah.
And then you would have to build back, which when you're young, 3 weeks to a month feels like a lot.
Yeah.
You get older, you realize that's actually not that bad. But I think the heart problem and growing through that, maturing through that experience taught me a lot already about injuries and how your work ethic, like you asked, affects.
Yeah.
Because when you go through that long of a time without training, it's like starting in level 1. So when you come back, you have no fitness.
Yeah.
The ball feels different coming off your racket. So everyone else feels, you know, 100 steps ahead of you. And you have to put in not just what everyone else is putting in, but even more to slowly catch up to get to where you were before you got injured. Wow. So I think the heart problem and that period taught me a lot about work ethic, which once you have that experience, future injuries, you kind of relate it to that. Like, okay, if I could get back to my best level after that, then I can get back again to my best level after whatever future setback came its way.
So you also build your confidence essentially.
Yeah, I think it builds your confidence in going through difficulties. And that, okay, you know, if I'm facing this struggle, I'm not the only person in the world that's faced or dealt with injuries. So you don't let that shatter you. You take it on the chin again, do your best to rehab, and then put in your necessary work. And it almost the latter one, so my hip, my knee injury, those were the big ones in college. It became almost a challenge, and I think at that point I really, really relied on my work ethic. So it became something you're constantly working towards. So it was, if anything, it was kind of fun to see progress after going through hip surgery. You're on crutches for weeks. You can't walk, so even being able to walk felt like a win. And also a lot of other lessons like gratitude. And so after walking, you're like, okay, so now the next step is being able to run. So once you hit running, again, it's like, oh wow, I can run again. And then the next step, getting back on court, playing tennis again. And you start to cherish things differently. You have a different view on the sport, because you didn't touch a racket for 4 months, and now you're doing it again, something you love. So you develop a different sense of I think gratitude's still the best word towards the sport.
Wow. Okay. You decided to stop playing professional tennis around October 2023. Can you kind of go through it with me a little bit? What happened during that period of time?
Yeah, I think even thinking back, my professional tennis career, I would consider college professional too, because of the competitive nature of it.
Yeah, same
and
thing,
you're still chasing that professional dream.
Yeah.
But my actual time on the pro circuit, I feel like it was very short.
Okay.
I wanted to give myself a couple years, but due to different reasons, finances, different injuries, it just it didn't feel like the right fit, and didn't feel like a smooth path, like a door that was open from God per se for me to walk towards. So after a couple months out of college, I'm training head down to play pro tennis, still somewhat dealing with my knee injury and wrist injury. So I wasn't feeling the best physically. And then, go through to a couple tournaments, very, very tight on money. It's always in my head on, when you travel, you're doing everything alone. It's very lonely. You don't have a team like you would when you have the financial abilities to hire. So it's a completely different ballpark when you're trying to do everything alone versus if you do it, what I think is the only way, the right way to get there is with a coach, with a team. And obviously if you're playing every week, probably not having so many clouded thoughts in your mind, just focusing on performing. So that was the first big thought that came into mind when I started really thinking, is this what I should be doing? So once you have that doubt, you've gone through so many different forms of doubt in your career that you recognize which ones feel more severe than others. And this one was one where it was more than just potentially a lack of confidence. It was more to it. So I took a step back and really, really thought through everything.
Okay. So how did you make this major decision to just let it go?
It was very simple, actually. It was just prayer. That was the one final decision that I made was, I don't want to, number one, it was very, very, very challenging to even the thought of stopping tennis it was for 20 or 15 years of your life wasn't even a thought. So introducing that thought into your mind as a possibility was something that's very foreign. And then, you talk to coaches around you, you talk to people that care about you, that you trust, and everyone's kind of telling you different things. In 1 year, they're telling you, which from their point of view, it might just be another setback. You're like, you work through it, you'll get it back. And then another voice is saying, oh, talk to all your different coaches, get their opinion. And at one point, I just wanted to shut everything off. I was like, I don't really need more advice from other people, other coaches, even people that I care about a lot. It was more than that. I wanted to just block out all the other noise and see, okay, you know what, God, now that I'm facing this, what do you want me to do? And not so much even what others want, what I want. It was more than that. It was, okay, what do you want me to do? And then through a solid 2 to 3 months of just no outside noise, just me in my own head, in my own thoughts and through prayer, I felt somehow within 2 to 3 months at peace with the decision. And I think that was definitely God's working to allow me to be in a sense of mindset and framework of peace to let that go. Yeah. So I don't think it was really me that was able to move past it. It was through God's strength and guidance that I realized, okay, if this is something else you want me to move towards, then I'll trust you and I'll do that. Yeah.
So there's no writing on the wall, no writing on the sky. Or no, you didn't hear anything. Just
no, I don't think I heard. I didn't hear anything audibly or anything like that. But you feel the sense of direction, and that was my prayer every day, was for direction and guidance. So I guess for me it was feeling one door close, another door open. That's not coming from me. If it was up to me, I would keep playing tennis, but obviously that wasn't really what I felt like I was guided towards. So at one point you accept it, you come to peace with it through God, and you walk to whatever new period, phase of life that I guess He has planned.
But does it hurt?
100%.
So how do you feel? Like, do you still feel this hurt?
To today? Yeah, 100%.
So how do you deal with it every time when they come back?
I don't know if it's dealing with it so much as just letting go and trusting. So I'm not carrying it on my shoulder so much in the sense that, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that, thinking in the past. Again, thank be to God for me to be able to let that go and have a lot of peace and guidance, direction, which the guidance and direction became more and more clear the more and more I let go. And part of my prayer was to surrender my life, obviously, to God. So that means if He has something planned that's not what you want, then surrendering means letting that go and trusting. I think the biggest word would be to trusting God, that He knows you better than you. He knows your life better than you. He has your calling in mind. And at the end of the day, I want to walk in the footsteps of my calling that God has prepared, not in my own understanding.
So you just try to remind yourself to, right, this is what it is, even though that not necessarily that's not what you want.
For sure. And I think that's the most challenging part of it, is that it is a daily, constant challenge and something you have to every single day try to remind yourself of.
So you do have a conversation with yourself too, as well as prayer sometimes.
Prayer every single day in surrendering. 100%.
How do you view tennis now, though? How do you see it? How do you see tennis?
I think tennis is still by far the biggest part of my life, and it's shaped me 100% into the person I am now. So I don't take anything for granted. I know a lot of people would have only dreamed of being in the position that I was in or achieving certain results that I've achieved. So I don't take it for granted in the sense that I can't downplay what I accomplished. But at the same time, I'd be lying if I said I felt like I achieved a lot, because I don't feel like I really got to the level or the quote unquote success in tennis that I was shooting for and expecting. Now I still view it as a big area, big time in my life that taught me more lessons than I could have asked. And my character and I guess attitude on how I approach a lot of things were greatly impacted through tennis. So I think I don't think any of it was a waste by any means. So I have a weird relationship in the sense that it obviously still hurts, I guess, when I think about tennis, in the sense that I don't feel like I achieved all that I could have. But at the same time, it's kind of a balancing act of I don't take anything for granted. And I am very grateful for everything that I did receive through tennis.
Okay. So if you have to sum it up, what is the biggest lesson you have learned from the time that you were tracing, the tennis dream, maybe I can say?
Attitude. I think attitude by far is the number one thing that I learned through tennis.
Can you explain it a little bit more?
Yeah, if I can break it down into a couple of different areas, work ethic being one of them, discipline being another one. And then those two are the biggest ones. And I think underneath that, there's smaller webs like time management, positivity, mindset. And I think another big one would be problem solving, how you face adversity and how you are able to remain calm and, you don't lose your cool during difficult times.
Djokovic always say that.
Yeah.
He always say that because he faced the war and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Give him like this kind of
edge.
Edge, like when it's like big
for sure
moment. That's what they always say. At this point though, what are you looking forward to?
At this point, I'm looking forward to a lot of things. I think now that I'm seeing God reveal that new direction and path that He is leading me towards, I do feel a new sense of I guess a different set of goals.
Yeah.
So it's not my goals in tennis,
Yeah.
but it's my goals in the new career that God has clearly led me to.
Yeah.
It's a career that I had no idea I was going into, but step by step, and I guess that's how God works is, He never shows you the big picture. He shows you the next step that He wants you to walk towards, and then it's our job to trust it and to walk down what you feel He's guiding you towards. And I think that's, for this season or the last season, the biggest lesson I learned through this walk is that, you just keep putting one foot in front of another, walking towards what you feel is the best path that God is leading you towards.
Yeah.
And you're never going to have all the answers, but you just have to trust it. So I think now I'm looking most towards growing in now a new career.
Yeah.
And at the same time, continue to see what God has planned for me. The more He reveals, the more I surrender, or the more I surrender, the more He reveals.
Yeah.
And you start to realize you really don't have that much control over your life. So the best thing you can do is just surrender.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm excited to grow in my career and to see what new exciting things He has planned.
Yeah.
So, and I have random weird thoughts sometimes of maybe God will work in crazy ways and eventually bring me back to tennis if I'm not too old. But I'm not too stressed out about what that may look like or not. More so just trying to walk in his calling again. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I really feel very lucky. I never imagined I can talk to like Canada No.2, in tennis world. And I really feel honored, honestly, to talk about your experience, and thanks so much to be on the PathForward podcast.
Thank you so much,
Jerry.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey. Wow, thanks so much, really.
Smooth.